Fred here, and welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. This has been one busy week in gun news, so I want to go ahead and go over a couple of things right after I bring you this message. If you're looking for the best gun cleaning kit out there on the market, look no further than Rusty Rags. And he did not ask me to do that commercial, but I thought it was a good lead into this package that I got from Rusty Rags. When I did my little video on Rusty Rags, I had commented so many times on the plastic bags and how great they were. I got a package from him that was full of the plastic bags that he uses to put his products in. They are some tough freaking bags. And he wrote, Latham, Mr. Latham, basically stated, "Thanks for the review, and here are some of those bags." So I thought it would be funny. Okay, this is I kind of hate reading, but there's no way for me to really get this story out the right way without sticking to a script. So I'm going to be looking down, looking at the paper. I apologize about it, but I'll try to blow through this real fast. But it's believe me, you might have heard some of this, but it leads into a paragraph of something that you don't know about yet, or maybe don't know about. Okay, you all know about Operation Fast and Furious, right? The ATF has a new director, and he's been reassigning senior staff who were involved with it, 11 of them all over the country. Some would say maybe to hinder the investigation. I'm not saying that, but some might believe that. Just try to make it a little more difficult. I don't want to personally state that the folks at the ATF are bad. Most of them are very good. A majority of the folks at the ATF are good people, agents that put themselves in harm's way, and most of them are great folks. But the ATF, the bad things that are going on are politically tied, and most likely tied to the political appointees that are assigned into these, into the agency. And these political appointees are obviously pushing their anti-gun agenda utilizing the ATF. Remember, this is just a modern-day Watergate as far as I'm concerned, as this investigation goes. So anyway, with each passing day of the Operation Fast and Furious investigation, it seems that the Attorney General, Eric Holder of the Department of Justice, his fingerprints are all over it. It just appears that he's been lying to Congress, because he would state that he didn't have knowledge, and then they would produce memos with his name on it that were before what he stated. Some people would call that perjury, but there's a lot of lawyers speak in this, so they're saying that he didn't really lie, but I'm just saying it sure is given that appearance. For those of you who don't know much about Eric Holder's history, he has a history that includes involvement with Ruby Ridge, and if you've never heard of these things, Google these terms. Ruby Ridge and Waco. Waco was the Branch Davidian thing where they slaughtered them. I'm not saying what they were doing at Waco was right, but a lot of people got slaughtered, and people got slaughtered at Ruby Ridge too. Eric Holder was involved with that. He also, Mr. Holder was recognized as having a significant influence in the pardon of convicted felon Mark Rich. So, Mr. Holder has not been a proponent of the Second Amendment, and it appears it just gives the appearance here that this is an underhanded way of pushing the anti-gun agenda, and more is coming to light each day. So here's where the new news is. Multiple sources, including sources at the ATF, Department of Justice, congressional offices have said that there was a white paper circulating within the Department of Justice outlining the essential elimination, the elimination of the ATF. I know a lot of people want the ATF to go away, but if they get rid of the ATF, that they're going to fire the 450 agents of the ATF. But I mean, it's not like what the ATF is doing will go away. It will just fall. All those duties would fall under the FBI. It would fall under the Department of Justice and probably the Department of Homeland Security. So it's just going to end up under another government agency where there'll be political employees. I don't think the problems are going to go away. I know a lot of people feel that the ATF is a rogue organization. So that I don't want to get into a debate on if it is or it's not. I'm just stating some of the news that's out there that's just mind-boggling. So, according to the sources, the paper outlines the firing of 450 agents in an effort to conduct damage control as Operation Fast and Furious gets uglier as the election day of 2012 gets closer. So, on to the next story. You can't buy a gun if you're using a drug legally, and that drug is marijuana. If you are one of those folks that legally use medical marijuana, you're not allowed to own a gun. And I know there are a lot of states out there that allow medical marijuana, but the ATF basically said that the policy bars medical marijuana patients from purchasing firearms and ammunition. Last week, the ATF sent a memo to federally licensed firearm dealers confirming that it is illegal. This is not a new policy. The ATF doesn't see marijuana as being legal marijuana. It sees it as being an illegal drug. So this is not new. As far as this memo is concerned, they're saying it's illegal. So that just came out. And now to my last story. We're quickly coming on to the election season, and it's time that if you're a gun owner, you need to start looking into who you're looking at to vote for as far as their policy and views on guns. For some folks, I know a lot of gun owners out there, like you or some of you, are one issue voters, and that's the Second Amendment. So who can you vote for? Well, some folks are going to vote for Mr. Obama, and it's quite clear that he is actually rated F by the NRA. He does not have a very good pro-gun track record. He's tied to the Joyce Foundation and other foundations that are strongly anti-gun. So that's pretty clear. Mr. Romney talks a good talk about how he really loves guns, but you could see the state that he was governor of and what kind of gun control was going on, and he is not a pro-gun. His track record, I don't care what any of these folks say, I'm going by track record. He is not pro-gun. I'm kind of glad to see that Chris Christie is not going to get into the race. Chris Christie, as great a potential president he could make, being the governor of New Jersey, one of the states that is extremely anti-gun, he has stated and feels that all those laws need to stay there. He is definitely not pro-gun. He does not believe in guns like we do. So he is not a pro-gun candidate and would not have done us any good. Now, another candidate that is racing up the polls right now while taping is Herman Cain. And most people don't know Herman Cain's track record when it comes to the Second Amendment, so I went ahead and did some Googling late yesterday just to sort of get a feel for where he stands. And there's really not much out there, but I did come across one article. And you know, you can find these too. You should do your own research, Herman Cain and Second Amendment or gun control, whatever. Do some of your homework here before you go and vote here. It appears that he is pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun. However, he feels that the states have the right to say that, you know, if they don't want any guns, or they don't, you know, that they want to impose anti-gun or gun laws and stuff that may be considered anti-gun, that's their right. Okay, so they're basically saying that the states can trump your God-given Second Amendment right. Okay, so unless he changes that from an interview and that interview was, I believe, maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember the exact date of the interview when he stated this, but it's a little disconcerting, and hopefully he'll come back and maybe reiterate this, but right now that's what I understand from what I read yesterday. So if anybody finds out anything else, please comment or do a video response. Maybe we can find out a little more about Mr. Herman Cain's views on the Second Amendment, because he's racing up there in the polls, and he's definitely a potential candidate. So I just wanted to go over some of the top runners there really quick. I'm pretty sure we all know our Texas governor, not mine, but he's definitely pro-gun. I think there's pictures of him with guns all over the place. So that's it. I wanted to do a gun news video. This has been a gun news kind of week, so I thought it would be only appropriate to do a video that is covering that. So thank you very much again for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate friends, viewers, and subscribers, so keep on coming back, and I hope you have a great weekend.